So why do I emphasize so much that the best weight loss results come when a person doesn't exercise or exercises less? Doesn't the entire fitness industry tell us over and over that you have to exercise and exercise more to see weight loss? Why does Joe say different? And the answer to that question is the market is different that is being catered to online as the market that I'm addressing. I'm talking to those who are morbidly obese, people who are 50, 75 or more pounds overweight. Most magazines like Livestrong and WebMD and all of these online sites that talk about weight loss and fitness, they're designed for people who are functional and healthy generally, but want to drop a few pounds. If you're losing 35 pounds, your weight loss journey is going to be much less strenuous than someone who's got 135 pounds to lose. Your body responds differently to how you treat it than someone who is just slightly overweight. Someone who's 10 pounds, 20 pounds, 30 pounds overweight can still run upstairs. Someone who's 130 pounds probably cannot. Also, it depends on your relationship with exercise going into your weight loss. Some guys or gals are stocky but athletic naturally. So if you want to lose 100 pounds and you are a stocky guy or gal and you're generally healthy otherwise except for being overweight, then you can take a few more liberties. You can push yourself a little harder. And especially that's true if you're younger. My neighbors, for instance, are about 83, 80 something, and they have a big bag of medications. Just a trip to CVS to get those medications refilled is like a trip to the coast for the week. It takes a lot of planning because just moving around and doing things that we take for granted is very difficult. So your age, your activity level going in, and your overall health and fitness issues, those determine your stress levels. Why do I mention stress levels? Because that's what determines your heart rate, which determines how much you lose. A big person taking a flight of stairs is going to have a higher heart rate and require more gas, so to speak, to get upstairs than a person who's half their weight. And even if you are in better health for a bigger person, it's still going to be harder on your body. What's the problem with stuff being harder on your body? You're going to produce cortisol, which is the stress hormone that freaks out when you tax it, when you're on low calories. So if you are on a calorie restriction and you're taxing your body with a lot of exercise and work, your body's freaking out. Every time you tear your muscles, you get sore. Soreness is just microscopic tears in the muscles that collect water, and your body's trying to repair the damage. It's also trying to hold water to keep your nutrients supplied, because when you're at a calorie deficit, your body has to do all the things that you've forgotten about that go on when you sleep. Your immune functions, your breathing, all of those things require calories. Just to function in this world requires calories, even if you sleep all day. So keep that in mind and understand that your activity level, it should match your caloric expense. So if you are someone who's fairly active and you are decreasing your calories, you need to make sure that your exercise level matches. You want to have a synchronicity there. So you want to have lower calories, you want to have lower activity. But there's a range. You don't want to have low calories and then high activity, because you can only burn so much fat. People seem to forget that little fact. You can only burn so much fat. Ultimately, you're going to end up burning muscle. If you go out there and you have 1,300 calories a day and you're out there running 5 miles, you're going to really hurt your body. You're probably going to get sick. I've done that before, even recently. I worked too hard and kind of pushed myself too far. It can happen. And it happens because we want what human nature wants. We want more results, faster. That's a bad formula. What you want is synchronicity. What you want is stability. And I'm talking to you, those of you who are really big. Hear me loud and clear on this. You need to get out of your big range fast. You need to get out of being 100 plus pounds overweight fast. I know people say you shouldn't lose weight fast, but let me make a point. Your heart is working really hard at a higher level. Especially if you're the type who's getting really breathed out and you're 150 pounds overweight, you're in a bad zone. So you need to lower your activity to nothing more than brisk walking. Nothing more than brisk walking. And in general, you don't want to work out, certainly not more than once a week, even if you do decide to do that. which I don't advise, because your body, you won't lose too much muscle as long as you're reasonable with your calories. But the big important thing is you have to right the situation with your weight before you can right anything else. And if your body is in a gaining phase, it's going to be hard to lose at the same time. And people get into, can you burn fat and muscle? Burn fat and gain muscle? Somewhat, but it will be a very slow process. So for those of you who are already active and you want to learn and just burn a little bit of fat, you're going to have to keep in mind that your losses will be slower. But for faster, better losses, more consistent losses, you're going to need to lower that activity level. Do nothing more than brisk walking. I tried at first bringing in light bike riding and walking when I was 360, and it was still a little bit too much for me. I couldn't really do it. I didn't even try it again until I hit about 250, 240. And then I brought in body weight exercises once a week until I hit about 230 pounds, and then I moved it to twice a week. And then I eventually turned my walking into walk running. And then eventually when I was about 205, I could actually run. It took time. I didn't push it, and I did it gradually. You do not want to get in a hurry. You do not want to keep expecting better and better results like so many people do, because you're asking for trouble. So look at your own body. Look at your own potential. You want to keep your heart rate low so that you keep burning fat. You don't want to burn sugar. You don't want to overtax yourself. Can't stress that enough. Do not keep expecting more, and do not do what so many young people do. They have to get into all these exercise plans because they feel like they're not doing enough. Just by staying at a sustained calorie deficit, believe me, you are doing enough. The weight will come off. And I get emailed, I'll probably, before this week is out, get another message from someone who says, I'm trying to lose 50 pounds. I'm exercising all the time. I'm not losing. What's wrong? Your body's holding water is what's wrong, because your body's trying to keep your nutrients and your metabolism and your immune system functioning, and you're making it harder. So your activity level, your level of alertness, your level of concentration, all of that's going to be in the toilet because you're not able to work with your body. Just like the bear, you've got to, when your calories are down, your activity levels have to be down. Fasting versus feasting. Where your calories are up here, your activity levels up here. Don't forget the bear. I know I've mentioned it 100 times. Stay with that, and remember, exercise you will gradually bring back in. Just as with anything successful, you need to go at it gradually and not expect it to be in a hurry. So for now, drop the exercise, gradually phase it in as you rebuild a new you. You will thank yourself for it with every pound on the scale you see lost.